My straight roommate accidentally read the novel I was writing and got brain damage. Now he's trapped in the story's plot. Open the door. I'm my father. I can take better care of you than that old man. To save him, I lied that I'd be his wife. The moment his memory returned, I immediately moved dorms to escape. Run away and I'll read your smutty writing to the whole class. Fresh from the shower with only a towel around my waist, I walked out to find Austin staring intently at my laptop screen displaying the 3,000-word story I'd just finished. I lunged forward, pushing Austin away and slamming the laptop shut. As a male writer of BL novels, I couldn't let my straight roommate discover my secret identity. What the hell are you doing? I demanded, face burning. Austin's eyes looked fever bright as he swallowed hard. You get this wild in private? His question left me stammering. And none of your business. Austin cleared his throat, swaying slightly on his feet. Your homework, drop this. Thanks. I snatched the notebook with trembling fingers. Can you forget what you saw? You mean pretend I never read about the destitute campus heartthrob being forced to marry? Stop. I hissed. You only read 3,000 words. Stop reciting my writing or I'll die of embarrassment. The overhead light suddenly flickered violently, its fixture groaning. Crack. The bulb shattered. Instead of pain, I found myself in a warm embrace. Unhurt, I realized Austin had shielded me with his body. My fingers touched something wet. Blood. Bright red blood pooling around us. Not mine. He collapsed pale, lipped into my arms. When the ambulance arrived, I was still in my bathrobe. Students returning from dinner crowded below as I rode with Austin to the hospital. Academic prodigy Chad and heartthrob Austin hospitalized after vigorous exercise. Experts warn, moderation is key in physical activities. Shocking revelation, Austin bottoms. The top 3 campus forum topics that night featured us. At the hospital, the doctor frowned at the CT scan. Remember your name? Austin lay back confidently. Tyler Dragon. I facepalmed. Mortification building skyscrapers in my mind. Avoiding the physician's gaze. The head injury had rewritten Austin's reality. He pointed at me dramatically. Chat. Don't think marrying my father makes you special. Without the Fisher family, you're nothing. The doctor and I exchanged bewildered looks. Our arriving RA froze in the doorway. You two have that kind of relationship? The advisor gasped, eyes darting between us. He's delusional. I insisted. Brain damage from the accident. The words stuck in my throat. I managed to choke out. Austin hit his head and now thinks he's the protagonist of some novel. The counselor raised an eyebrow. What novel? God, help me. Did I really have to say it? My face burned as I mumbled the premise of my cringeworthy campus romance web novel. By the time I finished, even the counselor's ears had turned pink. Creative? He cleared his throat. Let's not pursue writing careers just yet. I nodded, thoroughly chastised. The neurologist later explained Austin's condition with grave professionalism. Traumatic memory distortion. Correcting him abruptly could trigger migraines or dissociative episodes. We need to play along with his delusion until his psyche stabilizes. The counselor squeezed my shoulder. This falls on you too. Chet. You'll need to see this through. So began my new reality as Austin's designated stepmom, a twisted role from my own poorly conceived story where protagonist Tyler Dragon obsesses over his roommate marrying into his family, scheming until finally winning them back. You're still in college? Austin growled, cornering me against our dorm door. His fingers dug into my jaw. Marrying some geriatric fossil? Where's your self-respect? I channeled my most tragic soap opera heroine, turning my face away. You wouldn't understand my sacrifices. His fist smashed through the particle board door. What does that wrinkled corpse have that I don't? Money. Charm. Vintage appeal. I gasped. Lipstick smeared from our struggle. When he hauled me onto the creaking bunk bed, I genuinely feared for the structural integrity. The metallic clang of bed frame meeting my spine drew curious onlookers wielding baseball bats. Our frozen tableau limbs entangled. Shirts rumpled spawned instant campus lore. By nightfall, the forum buzzed with threats. Hashtag Chadgate, hashtag homewrecker how to, hashtag dorm furniture durability test. The Fisher family summoned me in a black Cadillac Escalade. Professor Evan emerged. Tweed jacket sleeves rolled to reveal toned forearms. My knees betrayed me, thudding against asphalt. The young professor blinked. I blinked harder. His choked cough broke the silence. Mr. Wells, perhaps we should continue this discussion. Standing? Suddenly, he chuckled softly. Relax. I'm not here to cause trouble. He handed me a brand new debit card. My fingers twitched but didn't reach out. I glanced up nervously, left hand gripping my jeans seam. My thoughts raced. This is it. The blackmail moment. Please don't tell me I need to wire money to this account. My organs might fetch $50,000 if harvested fresh. Combined with my pathetic savings balance, that'd make $50,100 total. Stay calm. Negotiate like your limbs depend on it. 50,000, he stated. My trembling fingers accepted the plastic. 40? I bargained through chattering teeth. Professor Evan Ford's brow furrowed. He pulled another card from his wallet. 80,000. Tears welled up. I grabbed his wrist without decorum. Professor Ford, I swear I don't have 80,000. 50,000 final offer. My voice carried across the cafe, drawing stares. He pressed my hand down, tone dropping. What exactly do you think? A sigh cut through his frustration. Why would I extort a student? This 80,000 is yours, he clarified, massaging his temple. For assisting Austin during his medical leave. My brain short-circuited. Shit. My trashy romance novel brain rot's showing. Was that pity in his eyes as I stared dumbly at the card? This money's for me? I croaked. Keep it. You'll receive more after Austin's recovery. Fake, protesting twice. I pocketed my windfall. From this moment, Austin Fisher became my personal cash cow. However bratty he acted, I'd pamper him like a newborn. Grinning like a loon, I patted my jacket's inner pocket. Visions of ATMs spitting endless bills danced in my head, until icy words froze my blood. Meeting my uncle makes you this happy? Austin materialized beside me, voice dripping venom. Was my father not enough? Need another sugar daddy? Words like shameless and gold digger stabbed my lungs. My palm itched to connect with his face. Breathe. He's mentally ill. And our cash dispenser. Forcing sweetness. I caressed his cheek. Good boys don't snoop. Aus. He vibrated with impotent rage. I saw everything. You mercenary creep. A black card appeared in his fist. 20,000. Return Evan's blood money. Confusion warred with greed. Combined, these could buy my entire existence twice over. As Austin's stepmom, safeguarding his assets became my sacred duty. Future problems? Future me's headache. These days, Austin watched me like I'd loot the Fisher family silver. Terrified I'd stray from the nest. Let me tell you, buddy, don't worry. I wake up every day, go to class, come back to write my novel, then crash on my coffin-sized dorm bed. Even if I wanted to cheat, there's no time. I'm living worse than a damn monkey. Barely see daylight. Worrying about me cheating? Should worry about mushrooms growing on me instead. I grabbed my shower caddy when I felt burning eyes on my back. Turning around, I locked gazes with Austin. Stop staring. I'm showering. My towel flew and smacked his face. He slowly peeled it off, rolled it into a ball, and inhaled deeply. Sweet. Wait. I don't remember writing him this creepy. Where's Austin's original cool, reserved persona? Damn cheesy Mary Sue novels corrupting people. I rushed through my shower, stumbling out with flip-flops backward. Thankfully, Austin just sat reading under harsh dorm lights. Our other two roommates had mysteriously moved out together. Convenient for our situation. The client, no. Professor Evan, insisted we keep Austin's condition quiet. Thankfully, he acts normal around classmates. If this got out, we'd both be screwed. So embarrassing. What are you reading? The cover showed no title. Austin kept flipping pages, casually destroying me. I became my psycho roommate's step-mom. I lunged, snatching the printed manuscript. My own damn novel. He'd annotated every page with neat margin notes. Since when did I get such dedicated readers? This part confuses me. His finger tapped the climax. The obedient stepson pins you against the wall. Hot breath mingling as his hands roam. My face burned. Austin's palm slid up my thigh. Like this? Stop overstepping. I hissed. He lounged on his bunk. Sheets kicked down. Last night you were moaning, baby. Now you're cold? His grip trapped my wrist. Say it right and I'll let go. His twisted humor mirrored the novel's psycho stepson. How much had he read? Husband? I whispered, tears pricking my lashes. Austin tightened his hold. Look at me. Again. Husband? I squeaked, adding hastily, we'll be late for class. The moment he blinked, I bolted like a roadrunner, paranoid that footsteps might chase me down the hall. This was Evan Ford's advanced calculus class. The lecture hall was packed when Austin and I rushed in, leaving only front row seats dead center, directly in Evan's sight line. I pulled out my textbook, intending to review new material when Austin grumbled, "Why are you staring at his slides? Look at me instead." Snapping my book shut, I hissed, "Shut up and pay attention." Before his temper flared, I deliberately brushed my foot against his calf, our icy facade masking intimate familiarity. Austin's mood visibly improved as he half-heartedly copied equations. When class ended, Austin manhandled me toward restrooms despite protests. The moment I entered a stall, he crowded in behind me. "What are you doing?" "I need to piss." I shoved at his chest. "Exactly." His single-word response made my eyes bulge. RRA chose that moment to walk in, muttering kids these days while unzipping at the urinal. Trapped between porcelain and humiliation. I wished the floor would swallow me whole. My abandoned web novel suddenly gained traction after mysterious big-tip donations. Eager to please anonymous patrons, I stealthily updated chapters during bathroom breaks. For dramatic flair, I introduced magical pregnancy pills, inspired by that viral tomato pregnancy test hoax. Hunched in a stall, I compared the positive test strip with a grocery store Roma tomato. 2 lines? Just like the meme? I mumbled, crunching into the vegetable before flushing the evidence. That night while massaging my food-bloated stomach, Austin stormed in waving the dug-up test. "You're pregnant?" His voice cracked. "Whose is it? Do I call it my son or my nephew?" My flailing hands failed to form coherent gestures. "Not. 2 months already?" He bit his lip bloody, glaring at my food baby. That old bastard hit the jackpot. His palm pressed dangerously against my distended belly. Filthy little. I bit my tongue. With hookups ranging from hot pot dates to midnight snack runs, the father could be mala xiangua, boba tea, or that extra cheesy garlic bread. Honestly, I'm such a promiscuous gut. No. Austin totally derailed me. I kept my head lowered, which he interpreted as guilt. Little did I know his mind was imploding with twisted fantasies about family drama, even imagining confronting his 6 feet under father. A sudden stomach cramp hit. "Get off me." I shoved his hand away, rushing to the restroom. Austin stood frozen like a statue, silence stretching between us. After that day, he started keeping his distance. Breakfast still appeared on my desk, but he'd duck his head whenever I glanced over. My naps now involved a sad little pillow instead of his warm shoulder. He dodged me everywhere, even during partner activities. Enough was enough. During tennis class, I intentionally arrived late, colliding with Austin who'd clearly been stalling too. "You two are last. Pair up now." The coach barked. "Why the cold shoulder?" "Look at me," I challenged, racket propped on my hip. My irritation simmered, both at his avoidance and my own inconvenient crush. The concussion must have damaged his vision too, given how he kept squinting at the clouds. "Nice weather." He deflected lamely. The tension thickened. "You won't crush the baby, will you?" He blurted. "It's only 2 months along. Are you over my dad now?" That last question carried pathetic hope. I smirked. Just finding the kid a new dad. Austin's always been hopeless. Became my bro overnight when he learned I skipped breakfast, bringing daily gourmet meals without repeats. Started parading shirtless around our dorm, all casual arm draping and cheek pressing. Worst was morning lectures. He'd cradle my sleepy head against his elbow while I drooled on his sleeve, laughing like I'd devoured him whole. Every clueless straight guy has some poor gay wreck pining nearby. "Dude, stop fishing. I'm already hooked." After the fake pregnancy bomb, Austin retreated completely. Guess the lie broke his brain. But intense shock brings fast recovery. His birthday invitation arrived icy. My stepmom shouldn't miss her stepson's party. Never mind that his parents had already bounced overseas to protect his recovery. Seriously. Those 2 win Worst Guardians awards. I adjusted my wrinkled dress shirt, painfully aware of the gulf between me and the champagne sipping trust fund kids surrounding us. A wave of deeply ingrained insecurity washed over me. Here's your birthday gift. I handed the exquisitely wrapped present to Austin Fisher, who politely declined. I don't need anything from you. Austin's tone carried casual indifference as he straightened his cufflinks. Be right back. Across the room, uncles from the Fisher family beckoned him over. My gaze fell upon the banquet table overflowing with lavish gifts, designer watches gleaming under crystal chandeliers, vintage wine collections in mahogany boxes. My modest presence suddenly felt like a thrift store trinket amidst these treasures. Heard the Bennett heiress is returning from Paris this week. Luna and Austin were childhood sweethearts, right? Rumor has it they'll announce their engagement. Can you imagine the power merger between those two families? The champagne flute trembled in my hand. Seeking refuge, I slipped into the private lounge, only to freeze at the scene before me. Evan Ford stood rigidly by the fireplace, documents crumpled in his fist. Our campus notorious bad boy Kai Reynolds leaned against the grand piano with a wolfish grin, his Letterman jacket clashing with the opulent decor. Come on, Professor. Kai's voice carried theatrical sweetness. You wouldn't want your little secret getting out, would you? He tapped his cheek mockingly. One kiss buys my silence. Get lost. Evan's ears turned crimson as he hurled a leather-bound ledger. The projectile sailed past Kai's head, scattering papers like wounded doves. Kai chuckled darkly, suddenly noticing my presence in the doorway. Well, looks like we've got company. His combat boots echoed ominously on the marble floor as he approached. Eavesdropping's rude? Little mouse. I recognized him instantly, the Reynolds heir who'd allegedly gotten expelled from 3 prep schools. My fingers twisted the lace trim of my dress into knots. I didn't hear anything. Total accident. Swear to God. Evan massaged his temples. Ignore him. Where's Austin? The plush velvet couch swallowed me whole. Ice cubes clinked in my lemonade as abdominal cramps began their cruel tango. Still playing host. Luna's flight lands at 8. Evan's casual remark landed like a guillotine blade. They'll want privacy to reconnect. The cramps intensified. Of course. The Fisher and Bennett merger required certain demonstrations of commitment. My daydreams of slow dances at charity galas dissolved like sugar cubes in bitter coffee. You're pale. Evan's palm pressed against my forehead. No fever. When did the pain start? Just need air. I stared at the Persian rug's intricate patterns, each thread a reminder of the intricate social web I'd foolishly tried to enter. The moment Austin stepped through the door, he caught me standing alarmingly close to Evan, shoulders brushing, heads tilted at that dangerous angle suggesting imminent contact. What's this? Can't leave you unsupervised for 5 minutes before you start cozying up to my uncle? Trying to collect the entire Fisher family set? Austin's voice dripped with enough acidity to curdle the air. My cramps intensified, sharpening into white-hot agony. When I tried standing, my knees buckled. Your step, Mom and I have matters to discuss. Austin, know your place. Evan's fingers dug warningly into my forearm as he shot me a discreet headshake. Since when did Professor Evan start participating in this ridiculous charade? The arrival of Kanji disrupted the tension. Austin sniffed the steaming bowl and froze. Uncle Evan. She's pregnant. The red bean and barley concoction nearly made Evan snort his coffee. Truly had no idea. He managed with poorly feigned innocence. Heat flooded my cheeks. I seized the bowl, gulping scalding mouthfuls until blisters formed on my tongue. Shoving past Austin, I fled to the restroom, perfect cover to miscarry this imaginary child. Before I could catch my breath, Austin's ashen face appeared at the door. Don't, I pressed against the flimsy partition, voice cracking. Not when I'm vulnerable like this. You know I'll agree to anything. His fist slammed against the door. I never wanted this baby, but I never wanted you hurt either. That damnable tenderness surfaced again. The honeyed trap that kept reeling me back. Not this time. Summoning every ounce of resolve, I delivered the killing blow. I never loved you, Austin. It was always Evan. You were just a paycheck, and your uncle's 10 times the man you'll ever be. The crash of shattered porcelain echoed his roar. Lies. Sweat drenched and shaking. I doubled down, every word's true. We're done. The door burst open. You two want the same thing? Austin spat. This farce ends now. His retreating footsteps faded, leaving me slumped against the tiles. By the time I returned to the gala, Whispers already circulated about Austin collapsing in the ballroom. Is Austin okay? The vivacious girl asked with concern in her eyes. Evan was busy calming the crowd at the event, allowing Luna to leave with Austin. The driver intercepted me, insisting on taking me back to the dorm first. Staring at my reflection, I saw a pale, gaunt face with lingering exhaustion etched into its features. Years of erratic sleep schedules had taken their toll, leaving physical marks that couldn't be erased overnight. Compared to Austin's crowd, I always looked like some sickly ghost. It wasn't just their disdain, sometimes I despised myself too. Mediocrity clung to me like second skin. When Austin got hospitalized again after losing consciousness, I sent a fruit basket through classmates instead of visiting. They said he appeared perfectly healthy, the collapse being caused by emotional overload. I understood immediately his memories had returned. Neither of us would want to acknowledge our recent melodramatic entanglement. I submitted my off-campus housing request to the academic advisor earlier than most, citing internship preparations. Approval came easily amidst the flood of similar applications. The summer stretched endlessly before me. This part-time job's perfect, decent pay and minimal effort. My classmate insisted, handing me a fuzzy bear costume for mall promotional work. Sweat pooled under the stifling mascot head as Arctic AC blasted the food court. Austin, take my picture with the bear. Luna's crystalline laughter carried across the marble floors. Miss Luna of the Bennett family looked every bit the perfect match for Austin as they posed together. I forced cheerfulness for their snapshot, watching their retreating silhouettes blur through costume eye mesh. Childhood friends turned lovers, the classic fairy tale. Why haven't you mentioned your roommate lately? Luna's question drifted back. You used to talk about him constantly. Not worth discussing anymore. Austin's detached reply sliced through the humid air. The word stabbed between my ribs, stealing breath from my lungs. At the orphanage where I volunteered, children clustered around lunch containers. You brought the good food again. Their eyes lit up at homemade dishes supplementing institutional meals. I paused, noticing yogurt cups and petit fours. The pretty lady and gentleman brought these. A pigtailed girl whispered, clutching dandelions. Granny says they're dating. I'm giving them flowers. My smile froze as she skipped toward the courtyard's new visitors. Austin stood there with Luna, his arm casually draped around her shoulders. My knees buckled against the donation crate. Don't notice me, I prayed silently. But my hope shattered instantly when Luna pointed. Chat. Austin, isn't that your roommate? Those hazel eyes met mine, curious, startled, but devoid of the desperate affection from his amnesiac days. What a coincidence. I choked out, gripping my backpack straps. Excuse me? I've got... Wait. Austin's hand closed around my wrist. My memories, they came back. About before. The unspoken apology hung between us like guillotine blade. The sour sting surged up my nose into my skull as I desperately fought back tears. It's fine. You're sick anyway. I choked out before wrenching my hand free from Austin's grip and stumbling away. My new apartment happened to be across from someone I knew, Evan. Just finished making lunch. Care to join? The aroma of braised pork ribs assaulted my senses as my stomach growled traitorously. Don't mind if I do. I surrendered. Evan's minimalist apartment clearly served as temporary housing. Not surprising, the affluent Fisher family wouldn't settle long in this dilapidated complex. Austin kept appearing everywhere. At my part-time job when he came shopping. At campus diners where he brought Luna to experience commoner cuisine. Rumors swirled about the Fisher and Bennett families planning their engagement after graduation. Only 1 year left for their emotional cultivation. That afternoon, the skies unleashed torrential rain post-shift. My umbrella proved useless against the sideways downpour. Discovering my lost keys at the doorstep, Evan's voice cut through the storm. Come wait inside. What about me? A pitiful male voice emerged from the dim stairwell. Kai stood drenched in a soaked white tee and black jeans, water dripping from his dark hair. Evan snorted. Not my problem. While waiting 2 hours for the locksmith, I dried off with Evan's spare towel, conspicuously new, clearly meant for the shivering figure outside. Give this to him, Evan muttered, shoving the towel at me. Don't say it's from me. Kai's hopeful eyes dimmed when I lied about the towel's origin. By the time the locksmith arrived, he'd wilted like sun-starved foliage. New semester brought strategic class swaps to avoid Austin. But during mandatory policy lectures, Only front row or Austin-adjacent seats remained. Choosing the latter. I barely sat down before his icy accusation. Avoiding me on purpose? His glare pinned me like a specimen, my death grip wrinkling the backpack strap. And no, I stammered. Where's Luna today? Right. We still want to see what this legendary princess they've been hyping up looks like. Probably some angel-faced knockout? The kids in the back row heckled Austin. I ducked my head, pretending to be engrossed in my notes, wishing I could drop my pen and dive under the desk. Austin ignored them, instead fixing me with those intense hazel eyes. You jealous? My brain short-circuited. No. His knuckles whitened as he slammed his fist on the desk, making the entire row shudder. Austin shadowed me all damn day, lunch period, bathroom breaks, even trailed me to my locker. I couldn't figure out why the Fisher heir kept playing this bizarre game of duckling chase. You're following me home now? Got a problem with that? I finally mustered some backbone. It's not appropriate. Fine. Got someone waiting? He spat, jaw clenching. Yeah. The lie burned my tongue. Austin's eyes flashed crimson before he stormed off without another word, leaving me choking on half-formed explanations. Midnight found me tangled in sheets when frantic pounding shook my apartment door. No response came when I called out, palming the kitchen knife. I crept toward the peephole, only to find Austin slumped against my doorway, reeking of bourbon and self-pity. What the hell are you doing? I yanked the door open. You let strangers in. His voice cracked, whiskey-stung eyes glistening. Snap at me like I'm the trespasser. The raw hurt in his slurred tirade clawed at my conscience. Spill. How'd you get my address? Knew it, came here, 3 times. He hiccuped, forehead thudding against the doorframe. You can't pick Evan. Don't fall for anyone else. Tears streaked his stubble as he fisted my shirt. Say it. Say I'm the only one. Can I kiss you? Austin's tear-clumped lashes lifted, vulnerability melting my resolve. Okay. His mouth crashed into mine with all the finesse of a starved wolf, teeth clashing, lips bruising. When his hand slid under my shirt, reality pierced the haze. Austin, what about Luna? Chad's grin turned feral against my collarbone. There it is. Finally jealous? I started shaking my head, no right to claim that emotion, but he cradled my face, nipping my cheekbone. Staged the whole damn thing. Never touched her. My foot connected with his abs. Art. Still not getting it? He wheezed through laughter, collapsing onto my couch. Head over heels for you. The confession dissolved into drunken snores. I traced my swollen lips, remembering last month's vodka-fueled fumble. He'd called me sunshine made flesh before mauling my mouth. Vanished at dawn with zero recollection. This time, whiskey brown strands stuck to my pillow. This time, I left teeth marks on his shoulder. This time, morning would bring consequences. Austin kept laughing and acting all buddy-buddy with me, showing zero signs of progress. My heart kept flip-flopping miserably. I really wanted to slap him twice. Predictably, this time was no different. I dragged Austin to my doorstep and dumped him there, pretending nothing had happened. Leaving me stranded at your front door? I nodded slightly. You're really this heartless? Won't even let me inside. I hardened my voice. We're not compatible. Austin looked ready to explode. We're perfectly compatible. I already knew we existed in separate worlds, destined for different paths. Austin sighed heavily. I knew everything about yesterday. Don't even think about ditching me. His parting words hit like stones, rippling across the calm surface of my heart. On his way out, he ran into Kai. Your stupid jealousy tactics don't work. My wife left. Actually left. Kai scoffed loudly. Mine left too. In some twisted way. They were kindred spirits. Bored. I logged back onto the writing platform. A tipping user DM'd requesting custom fiction. The offer came with irresistible digits. Money? I'll always take it. Any kinky scenario the client wants. The employer deliberately left both protagonists unnamed for suspense. We exchanged WeChat contacts. Her profile picture showed a cartoon nightingale, adorable. Me, finished. This work? Her, perfect. Just fill in the male lead's names. She dropped 2 names, Austin as the top, Chad as the bottom. Panic surged through me. Was I getting doxxed? I sell creativity, not my identity. Austin's my bro. His whole make my wife jealous scheme backfired. Now my wife kicked me out because I helped him. Last time I'm bailing him out if he keeps losing partners. Me. Her. Oh. Need your real name and bank details for final payment. Me, and no thanks. Mortification hit when I realized my client was Luna, lesbian activist extraordinaire. I logged off faster than lightning. Disaster. My draft with glaring pen names still uploaded? This was digital crucifixion. Austin showed up at my apartment clutching printed manuscripts. Open up. I'm here to confess. I braced against the door, refusing entry. Man, can I refund you? Those papers in his hand weren't manuscripts, they were my execution notice. If this leaked, I'd never show my face again. Austin's smug laughter echoed through the wood. No. And open the door. If you don't unlock it now, every meme about thirsty roommates will be about us. I opened the door with burning ears. Austin gripped my chin. Chad, you're such a closet case. That's bullshit. I'm gayer than a rainbow disco ball. He suddenly straightened his shirt collar with unusual formality, clearing his throat. I like you. Will you be my boyfriend? What about before? He cut me off urgently. I wanted to make you jealous. You went full Hulk when I got amnesia. But now you're acting cold? The silver band he slid onto my finger fit perfectly. What if I say no? I challenged. He smirked. I'll read your AO3 smut drafts to the entire Economics 101 class. My temple throbbed. Ruthless bastard. Fine.